Hello, everyone. Welcome to LOA Uncorked. This is Holli.
And this is Jeanna.
And guess what, Jeanna?
I know. I'm tapping my veins, hoping to God she wakes up to keep up with this guest
It's early
today.
morning for Jeanna, and you know I got to prod her a little bit. I'll keep her going.
Yes,
she'll do it. She's going to be so excited because guess what? Our guest today, actually, if I could say, I've listened to her podcast, her books. Like she's a keynote speaker. Listen, if this woman could package her passion and enthusiasm and joy into a bottle of elixir, Jeanna,
I'd drink it.
We would uncork that thing.
I could use some right now.
You're going to get some. She's going to deliver it to you today on the podcast.
I'm already feeling it.
I'm telling you, multi-million-dollar ideas delivered to our guest today, Sandy Joy Weston. Let me tell you about her. Okay, so she
that
is.
Was pretty.
Well, she's a lot. Was it?
Yeah, it was nice.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jeanna. She is the host of the podcast, Let's Keep It Real. She also has a podcast, Positive Bitch Lady. I love putting the bitch in the middle of that positive part. It's so great. She's a keynote speaker, like I said. She's actually out of Philadelphia and a star in the Philadelphia's fitness scene. So she's on fitness clubs.
I see her running up those stairs like
da-da-da.
Okay. Yep, exactly. Just up and up.
We should never sing.
We shouldn't.
It's bad.
No,
okay. You know. Anyway, we'll leave that to Sly and the Stones or whoever that was. Okay. And she has been a trainer for the Philadelphia Flyers. That's hockey, Jeanna. And the 76ers. We all know who they are. And, you know, her mission is to bring joy and spread joy into the world. And I'm telling you, listen to her podcast. It's so delicious. Listen to her speak. And she's also the author of Train Your Head and Your Body Will Follow.
Oh.
And she has My 30-Day Reset Journal. Now, I'm super
Have you
excited.
done the journal?
Well, what I noticed was, because I wrote down a little key facts about her, and look at this, Jeanna. I'm not going to show Sandy. I'm going to show you. Look, I put my goals
You couldn't read
down.
it anyway. It's okay.
No, I put the game, the goal, the action. I did it all down here. I haven't gotten there yet. We're going to talk about why I can't achieve my goals, Jeanna. She's going to help me.
I can't wait for Philly to tell you. Yep. Can't wait.
All right. Well, welcome, Sandy Joy Weston to LOA Uncorked.
Good morning.
Oh my God, I was running upstairs to that. No one's ever done that before.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I could see you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have done
on you.
I did do Health Watch on Discovery Channel. They made me run up and down.
I love it.
It was fun. It was fun. But guess what? I just realized something. We were chatting. I forgot that I came out with a new journal that's for kids, ages 6 to 12, but I sent it to all my friends for their kids, and they're using it themselves because it's so fun. So maybe you like this one.
Reset.
Oh. But I can't show you my. But it's all about power message, my word of the day, what's your superpower, express yourself, scribble, scrabble. That just happened. Get it out. Power up. What I need right now. Hey, I got something to say. It's no wonder the adults are using it.
Oh,
right?
I would. I really get that. You know, we have actually one of our giveaways is know your superpower, and I use astrology actually to deliver that. But we like to play. You know, as adults, we should bring in more play in our life.
Agreed.
Absolutely. And for me, when they asked me, the publisher asked me, you know, write this book, you know, you should be able to do it in a couple months. Like, yo, I got to go talk to the peeps, the kids. So, I mean, they're the ones I'm writing it for.
Yeah.
Let me see what they want. So I went in, because it was for 6 to 12-year-olds. I went into elementary school. And guess what? Half the stuff I would have put in, it was out, you know?
Right.
And the biggest thing I came away with, there's two big things.
Yep.
One, it was sad. When I had them draw their feelings and what is the one thing they would like to change, most of them, they can't sleep at night. And I thought it was because they're playing with their gadgets, but worried about the world. Of course, they blame my generation. I took the hit. And the second thing was they wanted to feel that they really did have a unique power if they weren't that star athlete. if they weren't someone who had the most. And so I have this whole thing in there about your superpower, which is everything from brave to writer to grateful to sweet to intelligent to mindful to great listener. And that's what they resonated the most with. And I think we can learn from that.
Absolutely. I totally think so. It's interesting because one of our mantras is, we love, children, and we think the school system needs to adjust itself to address some of the things that you're talking about. And one of the things that we are really passionate about, and what young kids are passionate about right now, is astrology and learning astrology. Some people don't believe in it, but or another tool to help you know what your superpowers are and understand yourself so much more. As a child, you can imagine growing up and using that as a template of your life instead of wandering in the wilderness like our generation. Well, you didn't, but I still wander, and I'm old enough to know better, and here I wander. And so... yeah, I just think that that's incredible. Well, I love the research you did on that.
And systems tell you, the systems that have been built, whether it's school system, corporate systems, tell you what's valuable and not valuable. And kids that are athletic are revered in a school system, right? It is one of the ways in which you find your own little level of fame. And not so much, young kids, but definitely as they get older, that's what, whether you're a cheerleader or an athlete, those are the people that are at the top of the food chain pyramid, whatever you want, social system, right?
Totally.
And revered, versus those that have kind of like those warmer gifts of speaking and feeling and all of those things that we all know will far exceed an athletic ability for most people in life. Yeah. But they're not revered in the same way in a social system.
And here's the thing, the teachers know it, but they're not sure how to shift it.
Exactly.
And it's like, let me get in there, call it fitness, whatever you want to call it. But what the kids loved is someone would say, oh, I love to write. And we would let everyone would clap. Yay, you get 5 stars. I'm a great listener. Yay, keep gradually, just, from kindergarten, celebrating all those unique gifts. And you're pretty damn special.
Well, even just putting them in the same list as athletic ability, like put them on, they're all a superpower. Nobody's superpower is less important or more important. They're all important. And so maybe, even just the way you did it in the book starts us moving in the right direction.
And it helps. I think there's a lot of great teachers that try to implement it, but it's a system, and then it's the kids, because you've got exclusion. My son was not in the cool kid crowd, but wanted to be. So there was always exclusion, and that's a part of his DNA growing up. And he's going to be dealing with that, for his whole life. But, it's a system that probably needs change. We want Sandy in every school.
Yeah.
Well,
I love that. Okay, so
kids, a little bit of teenagers, a little bit of adults.
Exactly. By the way, everyone, come to see us on YouTube. You got to see this book. This book is incredible. We'll link it in the show notes.
For sure.
You want to hold it up one more time?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the new one for kids.
The kids, yes.
I like my 30-day reset.
Oh, it's so good.
Yep.
So good.
And I like my books. I love them
and
all.
the books behind. I loved your book.
Yeah.
And so yes, go check it out on YouTube. We'll link it in the show notes. Then go ahead, Jeanna. I just wouldn't want to forget that.
No, that's beautiful. Okay. So, Sandy, here's what we would like to start with, because we start all of our podcasts with just an opportunity for you to kind of share a little bit about the highlights of Sandy Joy Weston in the world and kind of what brought you to where you're at today, just to kind of ground the conversation, and then we'll go from there.
Jeanna, my answer in the last 6 months is drastically different.
Okay, good.
So talk about your journey. By the way, my birthday was last Wednesday.
Yay!
Happy birthday.
63, baby!
Wow.
Woo!
Holy
Well, you
crap.
look young.
Holy.
Okay.
Yes.
What pills are you taking?
Go to YouTube.
She's an exercise person.
Yeah.
My son is, 19, so I had him when I was 43. Okay. Keeps you up. But
yes, it does.
My wrinkle medicine is I just love humans. So that's a whole nother story. But
yes.
I love that.
I did not realize until we were talking about my keynote, when I was redoing my speech, that everything I teach and believe and all my systems that are basic, because everything I do only takes 1 minute to 3 minutes, because like I got the attention of a flea. So it has to be quick and easy, and let's get to it. I've been doing since a childhood, but I didn't know it. I wasn't putting it together. Like, why is this ingrained in me? Because almost everything you do and it comes easy to you, you've been doing it over and over again. Absolutely. Right? Yeah. Like people say, oh, it comes so easy. Well, I've been doing it since I was a kid. Even with your mindset and your beliefs, it's not real. It's not real. It's not good. It's not bad. It serves you well or it doesn't. It's just something you've been thinking over and over again. So everything I teach is just retraining, resetting your brain. And don't get frustrated. Don't get mad at yourself. That's just a habit you created. You would think, duh, that I would realize I've been doing it since I was a kid, but in it. So do you have time for a little story?
Absolutely.
Are you kidding?
We love it.
I have a feeling you're like the best storyteller ever. Keep going. I'm going to take notes. Yeah, I love that story too.
But we're going to just go in a little bit. So just so you know, and I think you can tell, I have a life beyond what I ever dreamed of. I have the most magnificent, amazing life. I love my life. I'm not saying it's perfect, but man, oh my God, every day I feel blessed. Part of it probably is where I grew up. So I grew up in the projects. Okay, you think it's bad, but I had my peeps. Mm-hmm. But my mom, she spent almost 50% of her life in mental institutions. Mm. And since we were poor, they weren't the finest asylums. Okay. So for some reason, I'm going to say higher power, divine intervention. I knew as a kid, this was wackadoo. Mm-hmm. And I had to figure out something to get out of here, because this was all kinds of crazy. Yeah. My brother, he's great now, but he sold pot, a little bit else, whatever, put food on the table. My dad, he was okay, but not strong enough to deal with mom. Mm-hmm. For me, I would always tell people, you're screwed. I got 5 angels, not a lot, but they laugh a lot and they got my back. So don't you worry about me. I would say that to people since a kid. I got 5 angels. I have 5 angels on my desk. They watch out for me. So whenever the ministers or the therapist or whatever would come to the house and say, we're worried about you, I go, I'm good. Let me pray for you. Why? I have no clue. But I would use, which my friends call my wonderful life system, movement, words, and laughter to completely get out of what was going on in my house and dream big of where I wanted to go. So movement for me was dance. I would just put on my favorite song and dance. Then I would focus in one word every day. Even I can remember this at the age of 9. I would pick a word: fun, joy, passion, whatever it was, ease and flow, peace, calm. And I would focus in on that word while I was moving. And then I would make light. I'd tell myself a joke about the serious thing that was going on. Right. And I would just laugh away. It wasn't long, again, 1 minute to 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. And then I would envision whatever I wanted, like, to get into this dance competition, to graduate high school, to win the 4-H whatever it was. I would just go, okay, if I can focus in on this word while I'm dancing, it's going to get me beyond what is right in front of me. Now, no one took me seriously. No one thought I was going to get out of the projects, just be happy to graduate high school, right, which is fine, except for my uncle, who I bribed, Uncle Don, thank you, paid for my dance lessons, and my dance teacher believed in me. Mm. So I danced since I was 4, toured everywhere. So it ended up, even though my school and my counselors took me for dead because I was coming in, shipped in from the projects, I got a scholarship to college for dance, which got me out of that environment, which built on the next thing, which built For me, always doing what I love, ended up meeting the right people, training at the right time. You should open a health club. Why not? Next thing I know, I'm opening up health clubs. And I was an entrepreneur my whole life from, hey, I'd be happy to be a waitress. And people have always said to me, but how? Well, here's the biggest thing. One, I had this undying belief that there was something bigger, I wasn't sure what it was, out there that I could tap into any time I wanted to, who was going to love me unconditionally, whether you love me or not. I had that since a child in my heart. And I felt I was supposed to give that to the world. Like, do you know it's free? You can tap into your heart and that you are loved beyond whatever you do, not because you're this and that. So imagine you feel that way. Boyfriend dumps you, don't matter. I got all this. You know, aunts and uncles don't want to bother me. I got all this. It's incredible. I mean, incredible to have that feeling that you could. And so throughout my life, I always felt that. And then the other thing is, whatever I did with the most joy and love and fun. So whether I pumped gas, waitressed, worked the front desk, pro shop, and I had a million jobs, I wanted to shine. I wasn't competitive with anyone. I wanted to shine. Those two things is what got me far. It wasn't a certain thing on social media. It wasn't networking. Everyone who met me knew I didn't have another intention. I just wanted, if I'm training you, I want you to be happy. If I'm teaching you, I'm teaching because I want you to learn. I didn't have a side angle, a side hustle. I was there for you, and I didn't care who you were. I was there. And that took me everywhere. But when I sit down with young people, I go, I don't really think you want to hear why I'm so successful. Because it isn't like, make sure you tap into LinkedIn this much and Facebook and, Twitter and all that and network this many times. I tap into my heart, peace, love, and joy. I do everything, whether it's something that only has one view or a million, with the same amount of energy. And that's what gets me the right people at the right spot. That's the end of that story.
That's incredible.
So where does that consistency come from? Like, do you have a
the
bad
non-give
day?
upness?
The non-give-upness, like this consistent, because I think
and as
we
a
could
child
all do,
too.
Peace, love, and joy in a situation
that's
doesn't invite it.
No.
That came from somewhere else.
You were sprinkled
obviously.
with pixie dust.
Yes, those 5 angels were bringing it to you the whole time.
Yeah, so trust this. Just let me go through this, because this is something I'm really coming to terms with, because like I said, I didn't even think, oh my God, I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew it worked. And same thing with journaling. I would journal and scribble, scrabble, and write everything out of what I wanted and where I wanted to go, but I didn't know why. It just made me feel good. So here's the deal. If you can go with the fact that the way the body and mind and your spirit is designed is everything is creating a pattern and a habit, right? So whether it serves you well or not, body and your brain, without getting too sciencey, it likes what it knows. You know how they say the devil you know? Yep. It's true. Yep. At a very young age, in such a desperate situation, I remember at 4 starting to dance on a hassock to entertain people. I knew I felt better dancing. Yeah. I created that habit. No spring. I don't think it was pixie dust. And I don't think I had this strong will. I just knew it made me feel better when I danced. Yeah. And then focusing in on like a word, joy. My middle name is Joy. It made me feel better. And then laughing made me feel. It just worked. So I was doing that, consistently. I can remember since 9, but I probably was doing it since 4. Well, imagine you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. Well, it works. So right away, I'm going to do that. It doesn't take a lot of time. And here's the thing. Here's the wacky part. Years later, when I was working with the powers to be, I call them, when I was writing my first book, I got together the neuroscientists, the exercise physiologists, the sports psychologists, the Gandhis, the gurus, nutritionists.
Her people. She's got people. Yes.
Well, they weren't my people, but I gathered in and bribed them with free memberships because my gym was at 19th and Market in Phillies, and I had a big office. We'd come together, and they would fight. And I wouldn't understand half the crap they were talking about. But at the end of the day, they were like, Weston, you're onto something. And that's how I created the game plan, you know, how something that would only take a few minutes a day. So I went out and I got 100 people that I thought were highly motivated. And I said, it's going to take you 5 minutes a day. I want you even just to do this journal for 5 minutes a day. And I want you to pick one of 3 areas, your main 3 areas, which is money, career, body, health, love, relationship. Pick one area that's your sticky wicket, I call it, that you want to up level or suck squad. Whatever it is, pick only one area. And for the next 30 days, you're going to focus in on that for 5 minutes. And this is what you're going to do, your power statement, your game plan, blah, blah, blah. After a year, it failed. One person did it. One person. I go back to
out of 100
powers to be, and I'm like, what the? And they said, well, of course not, Sandy. No one's going to spend 5 minutes a day to change their life in a positive way unless it's already a belief system they have. And I say, why didn't you tell me? We thought it best you find out for yourself. Well, there were some pearls of wisdom coming out of my mouth, but I went back and created something that took 1 minute to 3 minutes and did it for another year. And then it was a success. So that's why I say everything, all it takes is 1 minute to 3 minutes to get yourself in a positive, powerful way, is because there's nothing more important than how you start your day. And it doesn't take long. It's getting yourself in that mindset with that word, with the power. So here I am now, how many years later, realizing that's what I did as a kid.
Yeah.
Not even putting it together, it was only 1 minute, 3 minutes. I did it every single day. Now, there is even another piece I left out. Before I met with the powers to be, years before that, I wanted to study people who I thought exuded pure joy. They had it going on. You want to be around those people. You feel like whatever they got going, whether they're a mom, a dad, a CEO, CFO, athletes. And I was able to do it because of my gym. And I bribed them with trainings and free memberships. And I studied them for a year. And I thought, I'm going to see what the pattern is. At the end, I couldn't see the pattern. But there it was then. My colleague said, Sandy, look at it. You want to know?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you. Every single one of them did something to start their day in a powerful way.
Yeah.
Life didn't happen to them.
Right.
They happened to life. And it didn't matter if it was a few minutes or 2 hours. It didn't matter if they meditated or worked out, pet their dog. Can you say masturbated? They masturbated. Whatever they did, made muffins, played jazz music. They had their ritual that was unique to them to get them in that powerful mindset. And then they went into their day.
Right.
So that's why years later, I wanted to create something to help guide people who weren't already having, like you said, that ritual.
Yes.
Because it doesn't have to be my journal. There's a million ways to do this, but it was a way to guide people to say, it's not long. It's not complicated. It's not expensive. It's not painful. I know you want this workout system where you run uphill both ways, but it's not that. Get your head in that mindset and then go out and look for a job and then go on your date and then go on the podcast and then write the email.
Right.
You don't even have to buy my book now. I'm good.
No, you still should buy the book. There's great stories in there and wonderful things happening.
It just gets better and better and better and better.
But I did love that the 5 minutes to 1 to 3 minutes just changed all the difference in the world. Which says
a lot about us human beings, to be quite honest. The 5 minutes was just too long for anybody to do. Well, 99 said, I'm out. That's too hard. First of all, you have to, I loved as a child that you did this. This is so beautiful. And what you did was you changed it's very law of attraction, manifesting, you change your level of happiness and then you go in for your goals. So you laugh, you dance. Now, other people that are listening,
you don't have to dance if you don't like dancing, but do something you love, right?
Yeah.
You're advocating move.
Just move.
Move or
Yeah.
Go out and hug a tree, breathe, walk, pet your cat, whatever it is.
Right.
But move does change the chemistry.
Oh,
so
for
even
sure.
if you're out there like this,
Right.
I'm telling you, if you did that for a minute, most people would be exhausted. So there's that. But then you move forward from that and you feel different when the blood starts circulating to the brain.
I love that.
Well, and just her level of presence. I mean, you know, for most people, especially children, in situations like you were in, you know, there's an escapism part of just, you know, not being present in your world, but rather you took the approach at a very young age, intuitively, to create your own energy source versus being provided that energy from your surroundings or family members, which is, you know, if we all had it, that's the life skill we all need to nurture. Is it comes from here. It doesn't come from anybody else.
But you got to believe that.
But
like,
you
as
got to
a
believe
child,
it. Exactly.
I didn't believe that.
Right.
I mean, like, I was like, no, okay, this is as good as it gets.
Right.
And I'm alone in the world. You know, like, I don't have 5 angels. I got nothing. Okay, that's what I thought. You know, and of course,
you have them now.
I have everything now. You know,
quite the posse.
Exactly. But you know that you have to believe that you can consciously make these changes, and we're always about, you know, making conscious creation a lifestyle. But one thing that you said, Sandy, that just really resonates with me, and I want to just highlight it one more time, because we haven't talked about this, Jeanna.
No.
That to start, we've talked a lot about starting your day with gratitude. We've talked a lot about all this other stuff.
Creating
we have not said movement.
Rituals. Movement has not been part of it. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Holly.
No. And so,
although we do it,
like,
you know, before a big interview, we'll like get big and move.
We're talking
and
about
jump
every day in the morning.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Yeah.
No. And so I think we would invite the audience to try something. Like I said, you know, you don't have to go run both ways up the hill, whatever you
First of all, I tell people to go back to why people won't do things for 5 minutes, because they don't have the belief system. Yeah. They think it's so easy, it can't work, and they're not willing to take 5 minutes to see if it will. They're willing to take a minute to 3 minutes to see if it will. And so if they give 30 days, a minute to 3 minutes, and they see success, then they'll go on to the next. Mm-hmm. So when I tell people, like, what's your routine? And they tell me the routine, I go, how's it working for you? I mean, if you're happy, I'm happy. But if it's not, you want to shift it. So I'll say, just take 30 seconds, maybe a minute if you have a lot of time. And before you get out of bed, before your feet's hit the floor, just think about how you want to show up that day. If it's really you're feeling down, then you don't want to go for pippy, skippy, joy, let me conquer the world. Just say calm, ease and flow, peace. That's how I want to show up. And just breathe in and out and think of your word. It could be joy, it could be powerful, it could be fun, it could be friend. And just breathe deep. And that's how you want to show up. Then when your feet hit the floor, like I said, you don't have to dance. You could just raise your arms over your head. Yeah. Or you can just move. You could just walk back and forth up your steps. It's just to get the flow going. Yeah. When you do, and then do simple things like that, and then you add a power statement to it, it reflects for you on how you chose to show up and what you want to get out of the day. So let's say I do a check-in every hour. What's going on? I'm feeling a little frustrated. What do I need right now that could get me closer back to my word, which is ease and flow? Maybe I'll get up, pet the dog, go outside. I talk to trees, whatever it is. You know what I mean? Yep. It's those little, that's why it's not time consuming, but people really do feel, if they're not suffering, if it's not painful or expensive, it really can't work. It's like your breath, breathing deep could change your whole attitude, and it's your biggest gift. I mean, think about it. Think about people, they got a brand new car, right? You got your brand new car and you spend a lot of money. You're going to put the best gas in it and oil, and the guys are out there polishing. But the freaking body, you got one of it, depending on your belief, you're either coming around a lot. I'm going to cycle in and out a lot. I don't know about you, but you never know. it's one here for now. And we don't really appreciate the gifts we have. And I'm not talking about being health free, you know,
right.
Just, doing what's right for you.
Right. No, I
absolutely. I like something that you said, and I want to highlight that again, that you consciously check in with your feelings and your body throughout the day.
Once an hour. Like, I love that idea.
No,
every hour.
Yes. I mean, I love it. And one of the things, we had a guest from Slovenia that she's into numerology. And one of her things that she said, and you'll love it, is she said, jump up and down like this for 30 seconds and then hold your hand on your heart. Stop, hold your hand on your heart and count backwards from 10 to 1. And she said, that will reset your energy for the, longer than an hour. She goes, I do it 3 times a day. So she does it 3 times a day. She goes, it will change your life. Do it for 30 days. It's like you say, you got to get that routine going, Sandy. Like that's your thing. You got to do it for 30 days. And then she goes, you're going to watch miracles happen. Yep. And I'm like, really? From jumping up and down?
I'm telling you, so many little, I love that one. That's a great one. And you do, when people say, oh, that's the only way to do it. No, there's so many ways to do it for you, to reset you, what's right for me, but they're not time consuming. I remember, I'm not a yoga person, but I went to Kripalu yoga retreat here in Massachusetts for the mindset stuff. And I remember them doing something like just doing this, breathing in.
Yep. Huge.
I was exhausted. Like, you know what I mean? So you could do it right at your desk, and it changes. But here's the thing. And I tell people, they get so upset. They go, I know better. Why don't I do it? Stop it. Pish, 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 pish. You develop these habits. You've been doing it. If your go-to is like, oh God, my day, I'm so tired. You don't understand. It's okay. That's just the way you've been doing things. It's going to take a little bit of guidance, a little bit of time. Maybe you need someone, an accountability partner. So, well, I don't want to hire someone, or you don't even need to hire someone. Have an accountability partner. I should know this. No, we don't. You can help others, but to look like me, I didn't know until I was 63. I've been doing this since a kid. Really? All right. But you can't see yourself in that way. But having someone you're accountable to, really, I tell people, makes a huge difference. And knowing like, okay, why do I need someone to help me with this? Well, if that's not something you develop the habit with, it's okay, that you reach for help. I don't know why, especially women, we're so stubborn.
Well, and I think, I suspect, you tell me, like, you probably didn't realize what a superpower you had in terms of your practice as a child, in terms of intention setting. Right. So I think we all sort of make the assumption that the little hacks that we have in life, everyone else has those same hacks, and they don't until you start talking about them. I've learned so much from Holli around hacks and practices and a commitment to yourself. I think as women, to your point, I think we feel more committed to everybody else other than ourselves. Correct. And, that there is this, it's like the airplane thing. You put the mask on yourself before you help anybody else. You have to do that for yourself. And, creating some process and some ritual around that is the healthiest thing ever. And you had that innately as a child, which I don't know. That is, a beautiful gift.
I know, there was some
not very many people do, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Jeanna going, okay. All right. I call God Neil, by the way. So me and Neil, I go, yo, Neil. Like, I feel like I almost felt guilty for getting now, because why me? Like, do I have to do something big? Am I going to find, I didn't find the cure for cancer. Oh my God, I disappointed Neil, or world hunger. Like, help people, but I felt there was something going on. Yeah. So Neil, why I call him Neil is because when I was years ago with a friend lying in bed, and I was saying, yo, Neil, what are you doing? Come on, get it together. And I was talking to Neil upstairs because he was banging on the floor. And my friend thought that I was talking to God. Yeah, he's like, so now God has a first name braces. I mean, I know you talk to trees, but now he's Neil. So ever since then,
Oh my God,
God's
I
Neil.
love that.
That
For me,
is so.
it's
That's the funniest. That is so funny. Well, I feel like Neil. I feel like
oh, Neil, what's going on up here?
Neil, what are you
that's
doing?
really funny.
It's actually the
she
best.
rebranded God, and that is
Yeah.
something right there. That's something.
Pretty good.
Something. I like to
Pretty good.
rebrand everything, and she's rebranded God. She's ahead of me.
It's
Okay,
pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah.
I really feel like the superpower that you had as a child that not everybody has, but you know everybody should know that they have the power to create their own life. You know.
Yes.
To your statement.
Start them young. You got to get it in young.
Yes, and young, and your superpower was your desire to feel better.
Yeah.
You know, you had such a strong desire that here I'm dealt with these circumstances, but I'm going to feel better. I have 5 angels.
Yep.
I got my dance in my body, and
Yep.
I mean, it's just pretty incredible.
Yeah.
You know what? Here's the thing. You made me think about it.
Yep.
You do things because you said something, Jeanna, and it made me think about it. You do things to get rewards. So when you get like if you get attention by being sick, right? Then I get love. I get think about it, whether it's good or bad.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Even subconsciously, I could tell you, she's gonna be sick today because nobody's paying attention to her. But you know what I mean? Like, you know, we do. That's terrible. My friends are gonna be like, "Did you meet me?" Yes, I met you. All right. Then, when I would go to those asylums to visit good old Ma, my brother, he was a year and a half older than me, but he was more sensitive. So I had to take it up a notch to figure out I really how to change the mood. So, okay, now bear with me because I was a child. So some of the things probably weren't the best idea. So we get in and I tell him, listen, Gary, don't worry. You're going to get a new pair of moccasins because they did moccasins and arts and crafts. And he goes, oh, yeah, great, we'll get moccasins, Mom. See, moccasins. And then I'm going to act like a big fool and then I'll make you feel better. He goes, you promise? I go, I promise. So we go down the freaking long hallway of doom, I called it, and we get to Mom's room. And I go, come on, Mom, we're going to go out in the lobby. And I'd always pick the time where everyone was getting their medicine. So they would get their medicine, picture it like you think, and it is. Neon. And they had these little plastic cups, and the little plastic cups were tied to their chair. I'd come in with my kid scissors.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. I hope some of them are okay. And I'd cut the medicine off. I'd say, you don't need that. Just watch me. I'll bring you joy. And then I would push the music. I had my boombox, and I throw on my tap shoes, and I would dance away. Okay. Before I got out of there.
Kicked out, yeah.
But here's the thing. If you could see their faces for that one moment, and I swear some of them did not belong in there. I swear to God, misunderstood or poor. In that moment with me dancing, I brought them hope and joy.
Yes.
And I brought me hope and joy. Yeah. So I saw at a very young age how quickly you could shift energy and got rewarded for it.
Yes.
So do you see what I'm saying?
I do.
People get rewarded because they're the class clown, or they're the bully, or they're sick and they're ill, or they're the, dare I say the V word, the victim. Right. And they don't mean to be, but that's the way they feel love. I was very blessed that what I did something one time and it got a great result, and then I built on it. That's all I did. That's why I'm so much about wanting, I didn't think so until the last 6 months because kids are a handful, but going in even younger to the schools to help with these techniques that they realize they have the power within them, not religious, just to keep that out there. We won't go anywhere, just the power within them, because I don't think they have time to do it in the school system and to see the possibilities. And I didn't think that until the last 6 months because I want them to know, and going into even the tougher school districts too.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I mean, we've talked so much about the school system and, you know, really wanting to find ways to instill some of these techniques, principles, ideas.
Without it being religious.
We'll all go in, 3 of us.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yep.
Because I do feel like if we all had those skills, even just 1 or 2 at a young age,
I'd be a different person today.
You'd be a different person.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I'm fine as I am. I'm good.
No, we're good.
We are who we are.
Thankfully, we're good. But wouldn't it have been easier?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, and maybe not easier, but just more fun.
Different, yeah.
More fun.
But Seattle, by the way, when I did my first book tour, they thought I was crazy here. It was all for 10 days. California,
right,
Portland, and Seattle.
Yeah.
And that's where I did book tours, and that's why I went across to the bookstore.
Bainbridge.
Yeah, and in Seattle. They got me.
Yeah.
Anybody in Philly got me.
Yeah, I do think we are in a bit more progressive location for, that broader metaphysical sort of knowing
I
space.
really actually think we should even get away with calling it metaphysical. I really feel like it's life skills. Like, can we ground it in earth and just say, these are your life skills. It's your resiliency. It's mental resiliency. I mean, this is what we're talking about. And you would know more about that, Sandy, than anybody else here in this little area. But
never know.
But no, it's true. And, with the pandemic, we had talked a little bit about that before, we started. And so many young people, and even my daughter's, she was in high school at the time, kids were struggling, and your kids were, your child was struggling. We've had issues.
Both of them were. I mean,
and
tough.
we see it just being an epidemic proportions for young people, and I feel like these types of skills that if we could teach them and instill them at a young age
and help them practice,
would bring more mental resilience and less anxiety, maybe.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I like you said, Holli, before, like, you love the way you are and you wouldn't trade it for the world because it made you, who you are. But the kids coming in, with what they're dealing with in the world, they need even stronger.
Oh, yes.
I could not agree more.
And I can't believe this, but when I just recently spoke at some colleges, and I love those kids and they're great, I got in trouble because I referred the kids to the therapy department, which usually colleges say and high schools say, highlight our psychiatry and therapy department. So which I did. I go, you have all this. And afterwards, I wasn't hearing from them. And then I got called into the head psychiatrist's office. And I'm like, I thought I did great. I thought the kids really responded. And she's like, don't you ever refer to our office. I go, excuse me? She's like, we can't handle the load. And she was not mean. She was like, she's like, Sandy, we brought you in for prevention. Right. We brought you in to help them teach skills before, so they not as many have to come to us, and teach the teacher skills. She's like, you need a whole team, which now I'm looking to form because I'm only one person. I can't, do all the, I go in and then I leave, but they're looking for these skills so that the kids come less, and have less anxiety attacks and less panic attacks and stress.
No, that's a really great story. I just took my daughter to first year college and sat in the parents in September or August, and they said, oh, counseling, that's, they promoted their counseling, and she was having such a tough time. I was like dialing the counselor, then I'm walking in. I mean, I was like, and they don't have the staff for that. And I was like, what were they thinking? Because you've got a whole cast of, what are they, freshmen that are away from home for the first time, and they're young, 18, 19, you know. And, I was like, I did get an appointment just because, I use my magical skills. I was like, I'm going to get this solved, and I'm going to, and Mama Bear came out. And so it happened fine, but I was in there sitting, waiting, and people are coming in like droves. They don't have the staff for it.
Because there's other things besides just freshmen that they're dealing with, and they're not funding the department as much as they should fund and bringing in. And by the way, if anybody wants to be a social worker, psychiatrist, or therapy, it's a good field to go into, because I don't even have therapists to refer my clients to. So if someone needs more than me, I refer them, but they're all booked.
I know.
And I don't even have great therapists and psychiatrists to refer people to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy, but I do think your point of going younger, because this generation of children, they have a lot of responsibilities. They're going to have a lot of things to work through in this world, and and they need the light, the help, the joy, the power within themselves. And if we can go and get them younger, then perhaps when they get to college, they've got what you were trying to teach them. While they were in college, they already have that coming in, and that would be special. That would be a special gift to the world. Sandy Joy Weston, you need to do that.
Well, I just got to figure out a way to convince the school system. I'm up against the school board, and they can't get beyond all the advanced courses, and I'm like, okay, so the kid's getting in trigonometry, but they're having a nervous breakdown. Like, come on! And I know it's not thing and getting funding, but it's at one point I was just like, okay, why am I doing this? I make more money here.
Yes.
Them, but I won't give up. I don't know the way. It's
interesting because we share that same goal, and we're like, well, there's no money over there, and there's politics, there's a lot of stuff, and you're a star there. We aren't stars yet here. Okay, they just haven't seen our shining twinkles, but we do have met a bunch of people through the podcast, and actually we're meeting somebody this afternoon that is a school educator, and so we're continuing to figure out where the inroads are too. So we'll just have to keep each other on speed dial.
Yes.
No, I'm serious. I won't give up. I won't.
No.
I mean, I'll do other things, to make my living, but I'm very passionate. I mean, especially when you go into a wealthy community.
Yes.
First graders are telling you they can't sleep because they're worried about the world.
That makes me sad.
I mean, what's happening in the poorer communities,
Right.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well,
they have resources, and yet they don't. And I think, I think we don't, and I'm saying this for myself too, as a parent, I don't think I understood how wickedly engaged and smart our children are.
Oh God.
And they are really, really dialed in. They pick up on everything, said and unsaid, everything. And if they don't find spaces to open up and discuss, to kind of clear that worry, it just sits there and grows and festers, and they don't have anywhere else to explore it and feel more comfortable and let it go, or not, to at least understand it. And it just doesn't go away. It doesn't go away.
Well, that's what happened. And we don't like to look at ourselves, but that's what happened with these kids over COVID.
Yeah.
They were just picking up what their parents were putting down. These first graders, whether you say it or not, they're feeling more, because everyone's there, the tension, the anxiety, and the stress. So yes, Holli, you have to get the kids younger, but you also need to work with the teachers and the parents.
Yes.
Because whether they say, oh, I never said that to my kid, you walk in a room and you can feel it.
Oh, absolutely.
Whether you acknowledge it or not. So really, you have to work on yourself first, like the mask, and then work on the kid. So it's got to happen. Time.
Yeah, it's interesting. We were talking to I don't remember who it was, Jeanna, and they said, start with the parents.
Yeah.
Do the program for the parents. They said, start there.
Just like the teachers. I mean, I think if, the structure doesn't support it or doesn't create space for it, I mean, we're going to keep teaching trigonometry that nobody's going to use. And these life skills that everyone needs are not prioritized.
Yeah. My favorite thing is a private school brought me in for their teachers and counselors for 8 weeks. Because they dealt with special needs kids. Oh my God. It was my favorite thing. They needed it so bad. And the principal heard me speak somewhere. She's like, can I hire you? I'm like, yeah. Like, I've never worked that many weeks. I mean, the fact that they put money into their teachers and counselors, and it was required for them to show up. It was great.
I love that. That's very
And it was probably
thinking.
so incredibly therapeutic for those teachers too.
Oh my God. And the stuff that they shared about what they were, the principal was sitting there like this.
Yeah, they didn't even know.
Yeah, it was cool. It was, it was
amazing. We're reforming the school districts.
Well,
with Sandy Joy Weston.
You know what I want to do? I want to figure out how to clone her first so we can send her everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I want to do. Let's figure that one out.
Yeah, no doubt.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
Well, as we come to a close here, Sandy, is there anything else that you'd like to impart for our audience? You've given us so much, so many aha moments, just even for Jeanna and I. And is there anything else you'd like to highlight or talk about before we leave?
Yeah. I want to circle back to what we spoke about the beginning about your superpower and your unique gift. And I think it's really needed for all of us to hear. And you need to take what I call in between the gaps time to listen to yourself and be at peace with who you are. That your unique gift, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, is, and you'll never know, you could change someone's life. And I'm telling you, I've seen it happen because you told them they mattered, or you made them smile in line at the grocery store, that you put your hand on a shoulder of somebody in need. You may not ever know that ripple effect, but I mean this, like everyone, some people get more accolades than others because they are on a big stage or they're great with social media, but do not underestimate what power you have to change your life and somebody else's. I've been giving gifts left and right years later that someone said, oh, you told me I had a beautiful voice and I was just singing in Trader Joe's and now I'm singing in the choir, blah, blah, blah. That was just a little gift that Neil gave me. Like, you do that all the time. So go out every single day, and whatever brings a smile to your face, trust me. Don't worry how many people like it, if it's the #1 book, if it's skyrocket. I promise you, it's going to make such a bigger impact than you ever, the star you are. It's incredible. It's incredible how big a star you are, and you don't even realize. And I feel that for both of you. My heart is pounding each time you two talk. I don't think you're realizing the huge impact you're having.
Oh, thank you.
Wow.
Oh, now that's a gift to us. Thank you.
That's
so
better than
much.
anything Neil's ever told me.
Neil's coming through, baby.
No offense, Neil, but Sandy Joy just touched my heart more than Neil has. Yeah, in a long time.
I love it. Okay.
No, thank you. And you know what? I
it's
do
so
think,
beautiful.
Since we started the podcast, Holli's always provided that great example for me about just lighting the world up everywhere you go without feeling like it's an obligation, but just
because it makes you happy.
Yeah,
too.
like just enjoying.
It makes me feel better.
Enjoying your everyday little things. If it isn't fun, don't do it. Yeah. So if it's not fun, make it fun and make it light and just take an extra beat every once in a while and give back.
I have a feeling we're impacting a lot of lives and you don't know it, Jeanna. I have
I hope
I
so.
think she is too.
I hope
she has and continues to.
Murky personality.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
No, you do.
It's all about being pippy, skippy, and joyful. That's just natural to me. It's, just being true to yourself. I have friends that are they hate people. They absolutely hate people. They're the most loving people I've ever met. I know that doesn't sound right, but they hate most people.
Yeah.
But I love being around them, know?
Exactly.
They got big hearts.
Yeah. No, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I mean,
that was a mic drop moment. She's right, Jeanna. You light up the world. You light up my world. I'm one person.
I have a new bar with Sandy Joy as my guiding light.
Well, so. I just loved
it was an amazing conversation
here. It was just worth the wait. We wanted you so long, and we finally connected. We did it.
We were patient and committed, and it finally paid off today. So thank you so very much. Beautiful conversation. Let Sandy Joy inspire all of us to just do our little part in the world. And
you got that, Jeanna.
It's all within us. Don't go looking.
All right, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Sandy.
All right.
Welcome. Toodles.